So this is maybe the best MOC that I have ever made. It's a design that I've been wanting to tackle for quite a while now, and I am so pleased with how this one turned out. I think it ended up looking pretty dang good, and beyond all else, I am just so proud that it is as stable as it is. I was legitimately not expecting it to be nearly as durable as it ended up being. Now, we'll get to more of that here in a second, but first, if you guys are at all interested in building this model for yourself, there are instructions on Rebrickable. There's a link down in the description, and I also have instructions for a Trade Federation color swapped version. There's a link for that in the description as well. So without further ado, let me show you guys what this MOC has to offer. As a Separatist landing craft, the most important feature is probably the doors opening. This was such a fun feature to put into the landing craft. It works really well. There's a small assembly up here on the top of the ship that when you slide it forward, it opens up the doors. Now, unfortunately, just due to the way that the internal structure is built, you can't really close the doors by sliding it back. But it's easy enough just to close the doors with your hand. And you can obviously pretty easily open them up with your hands too. Now, what you might actually be able to notice from this angle is that anytime you open up the doors, there's a ramp that slides forwards. And anytime you close the doors, the ramp slides backwards. It's actually really cool. And there's also a small armored assault tank that you can actually secure onto the ramp. And so when you open up the doors, it slides forwards with the AAT. It's a ton of fun, super easy to use. I'm honestly really proud of this play feature. In addition to the mechanism, there are also two small interior spaces that you can access via the roof. The rear one is a small garage where you can store the AAT. It's a pretty simple little build, just 6 pieces, but it gets the job done. Now, that front section is a control room with space for a minifigure. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, so here it is in studio where you can see the lighting quite a bit better. I would have loved to have made this interior space larger and a little bit more polished, but any amount of space that could be spared for structural stability needed to be spared for structural stability. As you can imagine, there's a pretty sizable Technic frame underneath all of these panels. But this is still a large enough space that you can stand a minifigure up and put the roof on. On the back here, there is another small amount of interior space, and all it is just a couple of clips to hold some small accessories. Nothing too crazy, but I at least wanted to use some of this dead space for something, and in hindsight, I honestly probably could have put a little bit more back here, but that's okay. The point of this model isn't necessarily to have a vast amount of interior storage. Because if I did give this thing a large interior, that would take away from the most important play feature, that being its swooshability. And I am very proud to say that this thing is very swooshable. You can pick this model up, swoosh it around, and actually get pretty dang rough with it. And not only is there no wing sag, but you can even pick this thing up by the wings. And that is something that I am exceptionally proud of. My design philosophy has kind of become this idea that, Technic frames are great. They are fantastic. They are what help you build such large models. But if you are relying on your Technic frame for the bulk of your stability, you're gonna find yourself running into issues. I feel like we have this tendency to focus on the Technic and how the Technic helps stabilize models, and we forget that regular system bricks and plates are really strong in and of themselves. The best way to maximize the structural integrity of a model, especially a model of this size, is just by strategically staggering your regular system bricks. And that's what I did here. Every single bit of plating, every single bit of color blocking, it's all strategically placed to reinforce the Technic frame, as opposed to depending on the Technic frame to hold it up. You want every Lego brick to add to the structural integrity, and that's how you can start to build some larger models. And speaking of size, this thing definitely delivers in that department. Here it is next to the most recent MTT from the Summer Wave, and it absolutely dwarfs it. I mean, this thing is almost the size of my shelves themselves. Going back to the golden era, here's the 2014 AT-AT next to this landing craft, and here it is next to the UCS Sandcrawler from the same year. Next to some more recent UCS sets, here it is in comparison with the UCS TIE Interceptor. And here it is adjacent, the UCS X-Wing. I know it isn't like some 5-foot long behemoth, but I think it still earns itself the UCS moniker here. Because, I mean, this is bigger than just a normal playset, even though you can still handle it like a normal playset. Now, there are tons more things that I would absolutely love to talk about with this model, but I know that audience retention is kind of an important metric here on YouTube, so I suppose I should probably start wrapping it up. Just remember, there is a link down in the description to Rebrickable, both for the Separatist version and for the Trade Federation's color-swapped version. The parts are a little bit pricey, especially for the brown version. I mean, a lot of these pieces are much more readily available in gray than they are in brown. You're looking at about $300 for the Separatist version versus $600 for the Trade Federation version. Honestly though, $300 ain't that bad for a model bordering on 3,000 pieces. You're looking at about 12 cents per piece, which is actually really good for a custom model. But at any rate, thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you'd like to see some other models that I've created in the past, you can do so by clicking on the end screen playlist here, or you can click on this video, which the algorithm thinks you'll like.